It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
Hey, welcome back to your daily dose of real estate talk. From Broome to Byron Bay, we're bringing you the latest news, trends and expert property voices straight into your ears across all major platforms, including Apple Podcast and Amazon. Halfway through July already. It is a Tuesday, July the 15th, and I see that on today's date, Twitter was actually launched. They called it the micro-blogging and social networking service. Boy, a lot has changed, since 2006. And on this day, everybody who was my age was in love with this woman back in the day. Linda Ronstadt, she is celebrating a birthday today. Now, regional Queensland cities. People are in love with these cities because they're leading the nation in house price growth, outpacing every capital and regional centre across Australia. In fact, if you take a look at Mackay, that saw values surge nearly 19% in just 12 months, closely followed by Townsville, 17.4% for Townsville. And good morning if you are listening to us from Townsville, or Gladstone at 16.5%. PropTrack data does show the affordable property prices combined with strong interstate investors, which we're going to talk about in just a moment, are fueling the demand in northern and central Queensland. Cities like Cairns, Rockhampton and Toowoomba are also posting double-digit gains. And if you look at the unit prices, boy, well, look at these two. Townsville and Mackay unit prices have surged by over 20% in the last 12 months. Let's right now catch up with Ben Chick from Explore Property in Mackay. And a very good morning to you, Ben. Welcome to the Real Estate Breakfast. You are a local. You were telling me you've been there all your life.
Why would you leave? That'd be the first thing I'd say. But yeah, thanks for having me on. It's great.
Perhaps we should just have a look at the median house prices in the broader Mackay region, experiencing significant capital growth, with one report indicating a median house price just over 621k and units 412,000. So the buyer demand seems to be there in Mackay.
I think the key thing there, Craig, is that we've probably, good or bad, been a bit of a hidden secret. It's funny as all the other prices around the country have started to, in someone else's language, but get alarming. Ours is now really affordable, and certainly the last 12 months, but even the 24 months period, we've seen so many other people find that what they can traditionally buy down south or somewhere else along the eastern seaboard, or more importantly, what they can sell down there and then buy here, is we've probably been on the cheap stakes and we're slowly catching up.
You've been slowly catching up for a little while now, and a significant portion too of real estate inquiries in Mackay are coming from outside of the region, with approximately, this is such a big number, 50%. Approximately of sales inquiries coming from outside the area. That does suggest the growing interest from southern buyers and investors drawn to Mackay's relative affordability, also that whole economic stability, and then you've got off the back of those two, the lifestyle offerings.
I think the key thing is that so many locals live here, love it. I love the fact that there's always going to be more locals. If people down south here at least gave us the opportunity and came and had a look at Mackay, spent some time. Ultimately, we've probably been regarded as a mining town for too long. And now that we've got more stability with agriculture, industry, and obviously we still do have the mines, but like today's obviously the middle of winter. I think it's the lows 17 and the highs 25. So for those that are freezing their bums off down south, and those that travel here, and this is a really peak time for us because so many people are travelling here to get out of there, the spillover effect of the ones that stay is great.
Yeah, and you've also got some anecdotal stories because, as you say, people can make this wrong assumption that all you are is another mining town. But tell us the story. You've got somebody that's going to be working for you and she came into the area not really fully appreciating what was there.
Yeah, it's really cool, actually. She's actually from the UK and spent some time in New Zealand and lived down south, but did the touristy travel up and down the coast and saw most of our regional towns, and then went back down south and had this forlonging to come back. But out of all the other places along the east coast, she said, Mackay just feels right. It's still close enough to everything, but it's not a really busy city, but it offers all the things that people want. And for her, it was really important that she wanted to be near the ocean, near the water, but still be able to find good employment, get well paid, and, enjoy the lifestyle as much as just living in a town.
And I guess a lot of these cashed up buyers, particularly those that might be in their 50s, coming up to retirement age, they cash out, they've got a lot of money in the bank, and they buy in Mackay. You've got those examples right there on your back doorstep.
Yeah, well, what we've got is we've got two parts of that. We've got an affordable. So if you think about someone who lives on the waterfront or very close to it, if you think about the Gold Coast, let alone what Sydney and Melbourne prices would be, but someone who's on the actual water down there now it's 20 million to 50 million, probably, if they're going to cash out or sell their place. Up here, you can buy on the waterfront for somewhere between 1.5 and 2.5. So you're going to put a lot of money in your bank. But there's people moving here for the lifestyle part. But if you think about kids when they're younger, may have moved away for the parents and then moved up north. Now the parents are making that decision of saying, why don't we take this opportunity of a buoyant market down south? Why don't we take this opportunity to move up where the kids are, go and see the grandkids retire, but understand that they're doing numerous things. They're not only seeing the family here, which is, we're a great family town, community town, so that's that part. But when they come back, or they come here for their kids, they're retiring with a lot in the bank, but not losing any of their lifestyle. Yeah, it's a big driver that they seem to find that those that moved away have come back to be with their kids and grandkids, and they find in Mackay a more laid-back, peaceful place with everything people need.
Yes, it certainly sounds like that's a great plan if you're able to cash out of the market. All right, we're talking to Ben. He's in Mackay. When we come back, I want to ask Ben about the Mackay Regional Council's Waterfront Development Scheme. If you don't know what that is all about, we'll talk about that next.
We are more than just a real estate podcast. We cover a multitude of subjects, including property data, current buyer-seller sentiment, and the mood of the market. Follow each week all of the main talking points and know your property.
Yeah, human contact is code for authenticity. And because you come from real estate 20 years ago, you're a different animal completely to somebody that's getting involved in real estate now. They're used to the social media. That's why we see a different style emerging. It's all about that human contact face to face and being as authentic as you can.
Oh, I agree. And one of the things that's interesting at the moment is some of the younger buyers, when they're wanting to submit an offer on a home, they will just send an email or a text message. I find that really interesting because I encourage them to pick up the phone so we can actually talk about their expectations and their needs and just talking through the whole process.
Yeah, let's have a conversation. But the amount of times that people go to the email or the text or they say, jump on WhatsApp, people say that to me. I go, no, just give me a call on the phone, thanks.
I think it's really important, Craig, because when you think about it, you can be contacted via WhatsApp or Messenger or an email or a text message. And there's so many different ways that an offer could be submitted by a buyer. And you would be terribly disappointed if the agent that you were submitting that to missed your offer and you missed out on buying a dream home. I always think for such a big purchase, and it is a very big purchase in everyone's lives, is that personal contact is just paramount.
Don't forget to subscribe. We have so many episodes, all designed to help you better understand the constantly evolving and dynamically changing real estate property market.
And it is a Real Estate Tuesday. Today we're in Mackay. Ben is with us. And Ben, I want to get to the Mackay Regional Council's Waterfront PDA development scheme. They're wanting to create a 20-minute city. Now, tell people what this is all about, where it's located exactly, and what the objective is.
Yeah, perfect. So it's pretty exciting because what we have, and if I misquote this, I do apologise, but I'm fairly certain we have the only blue river north of Brisbane. Obviously, we have big tides, so most other rivers our river runs straight through the middle of our city, so it's great. And if anything, we've probably just underutilised it. But the waterfront PDA is all about restaurants, hotels, That's stuff to bring people back to the city, because Mackay region is well spread, but reality is you can get to most places within 30 or 35 minutes. But in essence, what they're going to do is take advantage of the fact that a beautiful blue river runs straight through the middle of our town and start developing it. Start, as you would see down south, start taking advantage of prime real estate by putting units, restaurants, parks, just really developing an underutilised part of our region to keep people in that centre hub. Because from that centre hub, it's a literal 5-minute walk into town, and 20 minutes would be the outskirts.
Now, it's a big development. There's no guarantee, of course, that this is going to eventuate, but it's an aspiration that the Mackay Regional Council has got. The reason for it is it's been brought forward, I think, as a result of the growth and everything that you've talked about happening in Mackay.
It's a stake in the ground, I guess you want to call it that, based on the popularity and the consumer confidence of our region. The more population growth, our population growth has been alarming. We've had an instance where we've run out of land in some places just to actually develop. That's how quickly it's been consumed. So the amount of people come into town, and our vacancy rate for rentals is hovering around 1% and has been for some time, maybe less. But I think when you have a housing shortage, that they have to start developing what we've got, and not to get off track, but that city heart centre part with the river through the middle and bridges going over it. It's a forward plan brought closer to an approximate timeline now based on, we're at that tipping point. Well, we've got so many people who want to live here now. Let's take advantage of it and move forward thanks to the confidence in our region.
Indeed. All right. Now, just before I let you go, we've got our first-time buyers that are listening thinking, yes, Mackay is probably one of those areas that I could move into. As I mentioned, the median unit price, $412,000. Throw up an area for our first-time home buyers, Ben, an area, a suburb that is pretty good buying when it comes to, a unit that somebody could get into quite cheaply.
Yep. So all that, as you can imagine, anything close to the CBD, not easy to find, but certainly as the CBD employment area, so people working in the city heart, so anywhere within a kilometre radius of there to walk to town, that's great. But any of those, East Mackay, Glenelg, Mount Pleasant, they're only, they're all 10 minutes from town. So the unit price has been driven obviously by house prices. People have been priced out of house prices, so now they're buying units. And that was, if anything, we've been undervalued a long time, so it had to catch up. But the unit market has really taken off, given that, as I said before, rental market's not coming down, so they're paying a lot to rent. It's opportunity for people the great Australian dream, buy a property, whether it's a house or a unit. But if they're close to town, as we just talked about with the PDA and all the other stuff that's going to happen, they're close to everything. And I haven't seen where things close to CBDs in any town have really been affected in the real estate market.
So throw up the price, because I mentioned $412,000, but you can buy a unit that is cheaper than that.
Well, there's two bedroom units for sub 300. Certainly, if the average is 412, well, there's things for 5 or 550 too. So you can have unit apartments that are part of large towers overlooking the river and overlooking the city. You can get into mid-4s to mid-5s, or you can live in a unit complex that offers you ground level living for sub 300 or approximately 300. So probably for those listening down south, they're still saying, geez, that's really affordable, and it is.
All right, Ben, thanks for joining us on the Real Estate Breakfast this morning. It certainly sounds like Mackay at the moment is continuing to go off. And at the bottom end of the market, first home buyers, you got to be loving some of those unit prices. Hey, enjoy your Tuesday. Enjoy that subtropical temperature. And thanks for coming on this morning.
Thanks, Craig. Appreciate the opportunity.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.